Hello and welcome to Monumental History. She sits in quiet repose in Mobile Bay as a reminder of the great and terrible task undertaken by herself, her crew, and the armed forces of liberty. She sits in the water, her engines and guns silent, all the while calling the nation and the world to remembrance of the sacrifices that were laid on the altar of freedom. The silence is deafening. She is the floating monument of Mobile Bay, the USS Alabama. In 1940, the keel of the USS Alabama was laid in the Norfolk Naval Yard in Portsmouth, Virginia, USA. She was launched on February the 16th, 1942, and commissioned on August the 16th, 1942. Her length is 680 feet, with an actual weight of 42,500 tons when fully loaded. She had a top speed of 28 knots, roughly 32 miles an hour, and a range of 15,000 nautical miles at 15 knots. At the height of World War II, she held 2,500 crew members. Her engines delivered at 130,000 horsepower, and her arsenal of weapons included 9 16-inch guns, 20 5-inch guns, and 52 20mm guns. The USS Alabama had a distinguished service record. According to the USS Alabama website, quote, "Home to a crew of 2,500 courageous Americans, this 45,000-ton war machine's World War II adventure culminated with BB-60 leading the American fleet into Tokyo Bay on September the 5th, 1945. 9 battle stars for meritorious service were awarded the Mighty A during her brief 3-year tenure as the Heroine of the Pacific." End quote. The USS Alabama would have been scrapped if not for the tireless efforts of the citizens of the state of Alabama. A campaign to raise funds was started, and, thankfully, the USS Alabama came home. The USS Alabama website states, quote, "The battleship USS Alabama was dedicated and opened to the public on January the 9th, 1965. She has been on permanent display as a memorial to the men and women of Alabama who served in the armed forces of the United States." End quote. Today, the memorial park harbors not only the USS Alabama, but the World War II submarine USS Drum, a B-52 bomber aircraft, several tanks and armored vehicles, and an aircraft hangar housing military aircraft. You may be wondering why I am making a video on a battleship and not a video of a monument or some such structure in this video. The reason for this is that the Alabama is itself a monument memorial and was dedicated as such. The USS Alabama website states, quote, "The state of Alabama legislature outlined the mission of the USS Alabama Battleship Commission when it created that body in 1963. The Commission shall establish, operate, and maintain a state memorial park to honor the Alabamians who participated so valiantly in all armed conflicts of the United States, and, as a permanent public memorial, to educate the public on the contributions and sacrifices of the veterans of all branches of the United States Armed Services in all conflicts." End quote. Furthermore, the website goes on to state, quote, "She, the Alabama, ended up in Mobile, Alabama, as a national historic landmark and memorial to millions." End quote. The USS Alabama is, like many traditional monuments and memorials made of stone, a reminder of the sacrifices of the men and women who gave their lives for our liberty, and especially to the ones who paid with their lives on the altar of freedom. Be sure to like and subscribe to Monumental History so that you won't miss out on future content. As always, sources for this episode are listed in the description box below. Never forget.